Well, it looks like I was wrong about the election. I guess we're going to see what Mr. Trump going to do. I mean, I wasn't a Kamala fan anyway. Sometimes us as melanated people got to realize and recognize that those that supposedly look like us, are supposed to be like us, ain't like us, and they ain't going to do shit for us. Just got to realize that. I said, man, we've been dealing with Caucasian presidents all this time. As long as you ain't a criminal, you ain't selling drugs. I mean, we're going to see what happens. But I know one thing. I looked at some of the votes that the Democrats voted no on about giving parents rights and privileges to their children in school, about what their children are getting educated on, what their children read. That's why in my family, man, we don't even play these games. We don't like the way the school system is. We homeschool. And that's why it's important to get your career in line as a man or a woman, as a single parent or dual parent, so that you can take control of your children's life. That's the whole purpose of making the money. It's not about splurging and talking about, I got this. Now, don't get me wrong. You got it, and go and get it. But the real thing is about what the next generation going to do. You should be working on consolidating all your property into a trust, whether it be paintings, firearms, property, a collection of cars, and not a bunch of cars, one or two, that you might have at the time of your demise, so that they're not paying taxes or interest rates on any of that stuff, But I guess we're going to see what Mr. Trump going to do. I know it was the last 4 years he was in office, my money was great. And the only reason why I'm saying it now, because, man, when I looked at my 401k and that bitch jumped up 30%, I was like, shit. That was a pretty good election surprise. I'm like, damn, he ain't even in office yet. How the hell I jump up 30%? I ain't gonna trip. I just stay silent and quiet, do what I'm supposed to do, focus on what I need to be and where I need to be for my babies. Because what you do now is going to benefit your grandchildren. If you launched well because your parents launched you well, and your children launched well because you launched them well, then the grandchildren should also launch well. Like they say, if you raise your children, you can spoil your grandchildren. But if you don't raise your children, you'll be raising your grandchildren, And I know somebody coached him because I'm kind of liking the way Trump has been talking lately, man. I get it. Everybody say he racist this, racist that. We all racist as far as I'm fucking concerned. There's a lot of white folks and Mexicans and Asians you don't like because of the way they treat you or the way they talk to you. Sometimes we just got to be real about our likes and dislikes. A lot of us got a coalition of colorful friends. We cool with them, but that don't mean I'm cool with your people. That don't mean I'm cool with everybody that look like you neither. That's a person's choice. That is a human choice to make. Some people vibe with you, some people don't. I notice one thing about us, we don't get along at all. Our biggest downfall is not racism. Our biggest downfall is unity. Every time I turn around, it's always, and maybe I'm wrong, ladies, and please pardon me, but 50 plus years on this planet, I've always seen y'all push for the LGBT. Y'all push for overweight models, plus size girls. That's fine, but do you really have to be plus size? Now, if you naturally thick and big and you got some shape to you with a flat stomach, you really hippie and you got a lot of breast milk, I understand that. But when you just big and you expecting somebody to see you as beautiful and you looking like you should be in orbit, that's not the same thing, man. They ain't got no plus size male models. And y'all sisters got to understand, y'all got a lot of power. Everything that's in the Rainbow Coalition imitates and mimics you. Because y'all are the top of feminine power. A lot of cultures, especially white women, admire your power. Use that to your presence to make your culture better, not make it worse. And a lot of you brothers out here who are not taking care of our women and our children, y'all fucking up the clan too. Ladies, you cannot force a man to be a father. Men just want to have sex. Unless he offer you a ring and a hand in marriage, you can't force that man to be a father. We make a lot of mistakes because we talk down and look down on each other like you supposed to do this because it's me. Everybody has their right to a choice and opinion, man. Everybody, And so my biggest thing is this. I don't give a fuck if you say the N-word. I don't give a fuck if you goddamn do this and do that. In today's era of racism and inequality, if you are not a felon, you don't have a criminal record, and you don't have a firearm, you're a fool. You never know what's going to happen. Man, let me tell you something. When I take my family in that test, when I travel down that road, best believe I got 2 firearms and 18 magazines. I'm ready and fit to fight. I'm not even playing around with that. I got 2 Glocks so I can do some mastery work, and my wife got a Vector that is bore-sighted up to 150 fucking yards, and she put smiley faces on targets. My wife ain't playing when it comes to the safety of me and her children, or our children. You know what I'm saying? She's not playing with that. And I'm not playing when it comes to the safety of my wife and children. You have to be serious about your family's legacy. You have to show your boys what man means. Maintain a name. This is what a father and a husband does for his children. You go out there, you get the check, you get the respect, you get the property in a safe neighborhood, a pretty decent school district where the taxes ain't too goddamn crazy, and you align that property up to be giving it away to your children. That's how you build generational wealth. You know, I do a lot of research on the internet, and that's not really the place just because I'm right or wrong. This is just a matter of perspective and opinion. But what fits from my perspective and my opinion is less taxes, more affordable homes because we in the properties, you know, and being able to buy my children quality fruits, vegetables, and groceries that's going to enable their nutrition and health and not kill their ability to be healthy human beings. But I noticed a lot of people was seriously upset with this election, and I was like, it is not that goddamn serious. And I guess I look at it from a soldier's perspective. For 28 years, I just did what the president say do. Y'all elect him, and I said if the country trusts him and they trust me, then I ain't got no choice but to trust him. You know, with the Electoral College, it's kind of confusing when you say every vote counts, when we know that elections can be stolen. And I thought for sure that the Democrats are going to steal election from them this time. And they're going to come up with something. Before January 6th get here, they're going to come up with something. I just really do think it is. Because I've been thinking to myself, man, for over 65 years, our culture has been Democratic, and they haven't done anything for us. Their cultures and most other cultures have been Republican, and those Republicans ain't done nothing for them. You know what I mean? And most of the white cats that I know, they got a lot of cash. The brothers I know that got a lot of cash, people who mentor me to be financially fit, they don't give a fuck about politics like that. They care about digital currency, the stock market, properties, firearms, lavishing art, like, you know, brass, silverware, and paintings. These things are highly negotiable when it comes to you trying to get a loan for $400,000 to $600,000. You got a $1.5 million painting. You can put that against the loan. Use the loan for a business proposition and pay it off in due time. Because the bank is banking on that you fuck that loan up so they can own that painting. Or they can own that silver collection. I don't know what that silver collection is called. I thought it was a clothing wear, but you know, my wife, she's into the antique silver stuff. So I support her ability because I kind of like the shit. The shit is nice. It gives the house a whole new different look and a whole new different feel. But you know, I'm into paintings. I'm into firearms, exotic firearms. You know, cars depreciate. I just like putting my kids in some comfortable shit. You know, and I look at, as far as the record concerned, Mercedes and Toyota and Tesla don't break down that often. Now, I'm pretty sure there's some Tesla owners that's going to disagree with me. But the fact that I got a Tesla, I could take $3,500. I could buy brand new high output lithium batteries with a more sustainable charge and a longer life of electrical output, which changes my 350 to 550 in range. And, you know, when you locked in on that supercharger, man, I can go charge anywhere. And then not to mention, I could buy 4 new motors too, which will give me another 1,000 RPMs and another 1,500 horsepower. Man, that's a hell of a car, man. And all I got to do is change the brakes and the air conditioning fluid and tires. Man, let me tell you something. That's a reliable car. When we drive all over the state, we drive in that Tesla. When we got to drive through harsh weather and winter, we're inside the Mercedes truck. When me and mama go out and shake a leg and want to say, hey, we got it, we getting it, we go out in that motherfucking Maybach, the S-Class. You know, and it's not, I know that sounded like I'm bragging, but I'm just like, you worked your ass off to get to a certain point in life so you can get the things that matter, that are valuable to you. And also, at the same time, negotiate the stability of finance for your children in the nearby future. My only goal is I want to be able to at least give my children $50,000 to $150,000 a year for at least 15 years or for the rest of their life. You know? And if my children ain't with the plan of being black excellence, man being a man, woman being a woman, they're not going to be on that financial trip. Because I didn't birth you or born you to be what the fuck you think you is now because some school told you was in the wrong gender. I don't play around with that. My father didn't play around with that. My grandfather didn't play around that. There's a rule to success. There's a goddamn rule to success, and you don't break that rule. You don't go out here robbing and stealing. You don't go out here selling drugs. You don't go out here forcing sex on somebody. You don't go out here taking advantage of children. You don't go out here taking advantage of the elderly. When I was brought up, women, children, and the elderly were off limits when it came to the street code. When grandmas was around, we didn't cuss. When granddaddy was around, we said yes, sir, no, sir. When mama was around, we didn't cuss. When daddy was around, we said yes, sir, no, sir. Hey, man, pick up that trash. Hey, cut that grass. Hey, wash that car. Hey, rake them leaves. Hey, shovel that snow. We did what we supposed to do. Because why? Because dad provided us with reality. He provided us with good food on the table. He went out there and worked his ass off 365 days a year, did times in the military, and made sure we had what we had to get. You know? And so watching that, I'm going to make sure I do the same goddamn thing. Your job as a man is to be the protection and to sacrifice, if need be, to ensure your sons and daughters go forward and maintain and carry your DNA and your name. That's what resurrection truly is. When you raise your children right, you are resurrected inside of them. And what they're going to do, when those children have children, when they are married and they become parents, they ain't going to do nothing but birth their parents. They ain't gonna do. That's all they gonna do. Each child that they birth is better than the parents that were here before. A little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, a little bit taller, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, a little bit better with finances. You know, you gotta live by the code, man. If you ain't living by the code, then don't expect the code to protect you. You know what I'm saying? You know when this street code got fucked up? When women started to be men and wanted to be in the drug game, they wanted to be in the street game, they wanted to be in the hip hop game, they wanted to carry guns and shoot at dudes. So dudes get shot at by females, and they say, well, shit, I'm firing back. This is code breaking. You're not protected when you break the code. And I was like, damn, how you go from presidents to that? I'm just speaking what's on my mind sometimes, man. And I see that the game is really fucked up because we do shit that don't make no sense sometimes. And we need to start doing things that make more sense. We have to. We must. So I'm going to leave you with this statement. I ain't going to make this long. My grandfather told me a long time ago. He said, John, listen to me. If what's in the White House is fucking up your house, then you live in a outhouse because there's a lot of shit going on in there that you don't even fucking control. Man, let me tell you something. That shit stuck with me. How the fuck somebody in Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C. that sits in the White House that's dealing with, because pretty much the president is the chief of police and the commander of the military forces. That's all he is. It is a blame guy. A person that the people can blame on. What we really need to start looking at is our local election. We need to really start looking at what Congress does. Congress been up there 76 years. You tell me as a soldier, by the time I hit 28 years, I'm not good enough to be in the military no more. As far as leadership, as far as psychology, as far as technical ability, as far as physical fitness, I'm not fit enough in all those parameters to still lead soldiers in the combat. But you telling me a congressman or a senator that's been up there for 50 to 60 years can make good decisions when it comes to deploying men and women to a combat zone? Based on what they read and based on what some of their workers tell them? Nah, man, I'm not feeling that at all. You know? So my message is this, man. Stop being mad. Stop being upset. Stop being scared. Stop being afraid. Stop worrying about racism, because racism to me ain't nothing but a goddamn distraction. If the shit affects you, then arm yourself. If the shit affects you, then get the fuck out the hood where cops are fucking with you and you can protect yourself. If the shit affects you, then get a goddamn business. If the shit affects you, then get a little bit more training, get you some education so you can make more money, so you can get into a place where it don't affect. Because the effect is psychological when you get up here and you making the money. People gonna do sly and stupid shit. But here's the thing, when you got more power, then what the fuck can they do? You know, start networking, get to know some of these chiefs, get to know some of these sheriffs, get to know some of these mayors, get to know some of these judges. Get people in your network that got enough power to say, hey, this is wrong. This is my friend. Why the fuck are you doing that? You know what I mean? People like people based on who people are. You're not totally judged by color unless your appearance and the way you carry yourself matches what they suspect of your color. You know? So that's my little small message, man. I really didn't want to get on here and say nothing. And I know a lot of y'all saying, yeah, motherfucker, you shouldn't have said shit. But I think us as brothers, we need to have more of a presence, not just for ourselves, but for the men that's watching us, the young men that are watching us, because we are grooming them to say, this is what you need to be doing at 40, 50, and 60. You know what I'm saying? This is the expertise lane. This is what you got to be doing, man. And if you're not doing this, don't expect nothing good to come from it. I tell people all the time, God don't give blessings, people do, man. People give blessings. You see somebody out there hurting? I seen a lady I think it was a couple months ago. And, my money was right. And she was struggling with her groceries. She had her grandchildren with her. And, yeah, it was, she had her niece and 2 grandkids with her. And they wanted some little cakes and snacks. You know how kids about toys, cakes, and snacks. And she was looking at the shit, and they were buying $5 DVDs. And she's like, well, baby, you can put this on. I was like, she said, well, let me put this back real quick. I told her lady, I said, ma'am, go and get this stuff. Oh, no, sir, we almost finished. I said, no, go and get it. I got it. I said, here, ma'am, pay for this. A little bit of a blessing. She cost me about $75, but I put that $75 on that woman so that she can get them kids a little bit of happiness. She was trying to do something, and that's what I think our man in society is supposed to do. He's supposed to go out here and throw thousands of dollars at some stripper now. That's your thing. That's up to you. But I believe in helping out the elderly women that are raising the grandchildren right. I believe in helping the mothers that are raising the children right. I believe in helping out some of the fathers who are single fathers. If you got it, man, help that brother out. Don't embarrass him. Be like, hey, man, I got you. No, it's good. I said, man, don't make no. Just let me go. Let me do this blessing for you, bro. Trust me. There was a cat that saved my life that looked just like you, and I just want to give it back. Oh man, I appreciate this, sir. But man, fuck a pride. Here, slide this thing. Damn, dog, for real. I was like, yeah, man. Don't worry about it. Sometimes we got to look out for each other, man. And little itty bitty small blessings that we give here and there, they turn out to come back to you. You don't even notice that they're coming back to you. You know what I'm saying? This place is based on energy. This place is based on value and return. How did this planet work before we had currency, before we had credit, before we had government? How did people negotiate? You had farmers, you had fishermen, you had hunters, you had carpenters, you had woodsmen, you had guys that digging minerals and got coal for fires. They all traded amongst each other. I went and traded 16 pieces of coal for 4 pieces of fish. And that person got the coal so he can cook the fish. He can sell the fish. And the woodsman, he sold me a couple of planks of wood so I can go build a bed for a child. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? There's ways around things, man. We don't have to fall into the line of what they got. Each neighborhood in each community has the possibility and the stability to make their own currency by bartering. You got chickens? Give me some eggs. You got goats? Give me some milk so I can make some cheese. You know what I'm saying? You going out there hunting deer? Let me get some of that deer meat, and I'll give you some of this wood that my boys done chop down. There's ways of getting things done, man, to get shit what you need. But people like, oh, that's not convenient. That takes too much work. That takes getting to know people and talking to people and shaking hands and listening to shit you don't want to hear. That's just the way life is, man. I was talking to my brother today, man, and I was telling him, we had a difference of a matter of opinion. I said, I'm not dealing with the public schools and all this rainbow shit they trying to teach kids. So I pulled my kids out of school. And he was like, well, how they going to experience? How they going to toughen up? I don't give a fuck about them toughen up. That's why I take them to judo and jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and taekwondo. They can toughen up in there. They don't have to toughen up in fucking school. School's supposed to be a place of education, not a place that makes you feel bad because you ain't got the latest iPhone or you ain't rocking the Jordans and the clothes or your hair ain't done a certain way. All kids want to do, most kids who ain't doing well gonna make other kids feel bad that's doing well. And that shit usually end up in an argument. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, my kids don't go to the nursing office, they go to the principal office. That's a big difference. When they get in a fight with a kid, they ain't going to the nursing office. Oh, wrong target, I'm not promoting violence. I'm promoting change. I'm promoting equality. I'm promoting balance. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I look at a lot of times when I see a man, he's in his 60s, he ain't got no wife and no kids. No lady looked at you and found a need to want to be your wife or to have some children by you. You got to look a little bit deeper in that, brother. Oh, I just like being single. What man comes to this planet and don't want to make some children or leave something behind that represents his last name, his appearance, and bloodline? Bars. What man don't want to do that, man? When I see a woman and she in her 50s or 40s or late 30s and she got a business, she got it going on, popping gum, got her Mercedes-Benz and keys, but she ain't got no kids. She got to go to an in vitro clinic and pay $30,000 and $40,000 to get a sample of semen from a motherfucker she never even met. If he's a rapist, a grapist, a child molester, or a serial killer, you don't know what the fuck he is. Anybody can drop off a sample at a goddamn clinic for free, and then they sell it to you for 15 G's. Boy, we not making no sense. And I'm like, you're educated, you're smart, you're intelligent, you got an education degree, a great career or job or business, and you ain't found a man that found you attractive enough that he want to create children with you. He want to spend the rest of his life with you. He wants to be romantic and friendly with you for the rest of his duration on this planet. Something fucking wrong with you. So we need to really identify ourselves. Go and look in the mirror, have a talk with yourself and identify your weaknesses, your strengths, your capables, your plausibilities, and your possibilities. Find out where you fit. Find out where you be. You know, have integrity. You know what I'm saying? Have accountability. Be a leader and not a fucking follower. This world is simple, and we make it so goddamn hard with the decisions we make. Sometimes you just need to let some of the bad habits go.